You got it even without the lights? Doesn't that change it?
Oh, thank God.
Good evening. I'm Petty Officer Harris with today's news. First, the latest in the Persian Gulf crisis. The last leg of the long air bridge to freedom from Kuwait is nearly covered. Hundreds of women and children are due at Raleigh-Durham International Airport in North Carolina. The State Department says the last flight out for Americans with permission to leave departs Saturday. Speculation is growing that President Bush will share a turkey dinner with U.S. troops in the Persian Gulf. The White House says Bush does want to visit the troops, and a New York newspaper, Newsday, reports that Bush will make the trip around Thanksgiving. But the White House will not confirm a date, officials citing security concerns. The White House will not block U.S. networks from broadcasting a message by Iraqi President Saddam Hussein. Spokesman for the White House said Saddam has enjoyed considerable publicity in the U.S., so the president is not worried about this latest message. And President Bush will probably not seek rebuttal time. About 7,000 Army and Air Force reservists were called to duty to assist in deployment of Operation Desert Shield. Since the deployment began last month, the Pentagon has deployed nearly 22,000 reservists from all services. Defense Secretary Cheney today approved imminent danger pay for 150,000 military personnel in Saudi Arabia and Persian Gulf waters. The move will provide each serviceman and woman with an extra $110 a month, regardless of rank. Cheney says the supplemental benefit to the troops on the front lines is appropriate, given the risks they face and the harsh conditions in which they serve. Jesse Jackson has a warning. If war breaks out in the Persian Gulf, it could turn into another world war. Jackson says the U.S. should work harder towards a diplomatic solution. Now the news from the Philippines. Talks on the future of American bases in the Philippines are being held amid bomb threats issued by communist rebels opposed to the U.S. military presence. The Philippines hosts Clark Air Base, Subic Bay Naval Station, and four smaller U.S. facilities. In Washington, State Department spokesman said the bomb threat by the New People's Army was directed at U.S. government and public facilities. A Philippine spokesman says that unless a new agreement is reached, Manila proposes to take control, quote, as soon as possible, of Clark Air Base upon termination of American basing rights. Talks on the future of U.S. military bases in the island nation are continuing for a third day. Spokesman Rafael Alunan said at a news briefing the Manila proposal was presented today to U.S. negotiators. Alunan says the United States would provide a group of experts to, in his words, help determine the orderly transition of the facilities. He says if there's no new agreement before the base treaty expires next September, there will be a complete shutdown of U.S. operations at the base. Alunan says the fate of the 5 other U.S. facilities will be discussed before the end of the second round of talks, possibly today or tomorrow. Those compounds also would come under Philippine control without a new agreement. Manila plans to turn Clark into a civil airport and convert the Subic Bay Naval Base into a commercial shipyard. And another Philippine